You know how we do.
I started a live stream on YouTube.
I started a live stream.
No, stop it.
That started the whole world crying.
That's right. This is why people come to the Player One podcast. This right here.
But I didn't see that the
Like you're
live
having some
stream
kind of seizure.
was on me. I look to the sky, holding my hands over my eyes, and I fell out of bed, hurting my head on things that I said. So I finally died.
All right.
Which started the whole world living.
Let's do a clap.
It's the Beatles, I believe, saying that.
I think so.
Yeah.
The
All right, then. Let's do
Paul
it.
McCartney.
3, 2, 1. Perfect. Excuse me.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, that is gross, actually.
You just took a classy show and turned it into something vile.
Okay.
Just saying is all. Just
excuse me. Hello and welcome to episode 552 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, June 6th, 2017. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada. Those balloons in your window there?
They are.
Nice.
Just, felt like the place needed a little sprucing up.
Those are your
You're
everyday
regular. The lunatic over here.
Mr. Greg Stewart.
See my decorations over there hanging off the...
Oh.
It's my daughter's birthday party tomorrow.
Oh.
Nice.
So the joint is decorated. Yep.
How old?
She's turning 5.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 5-year-old now, too.
Yep.
Me too.
Big girl school
Hey,
in
high
September.
five on the 5-year-olds. High five.
Now that they've all reached the same level, we can battle them.
That's true. Yeah.
That's
It would
right.
have been unfair up until tomorrow.
Yes.
But our trainer levels have to be of a certain level, otherwise they won't obey. All right. And
I just so you know, I haven't reached that level yet. I have proof that I've not reached the level where my 5-year-old obeys.
Me neither. And joining us from the great state of California, Mr. Filthy Walt. How you doing?
I'm doing grand. Just
Yeah?
grand. Yeah. I'm feeling great.
Okay.
I'm feeling the love, man.
This is gonna be a good show. I have a feeling.
It's gonna be really good, man.
That's right. And joining us from the great state of California, Mr. Ethan Einhorn. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, this weekend we celebrated my son's 7th birthday. And
just had to one up me, didn't you, Einhorn?
Well, we set up all sorts of Power Rangers balloons, and when I went to Party City to pick them up, there was a 3-pack of balloons that were all Power Ranger themed, and someone had slid it open and grabbed one of the fancy balloons. So I brought up a $24 like supersized balloon and said, just whatever the $5 was towards that, just put it towards this big one. It'll be fun. And the clerk, a teenager who is very busy on his phone, said, yeah, I'll just give you that one for free since you lost one of the balloons in your original pack. And I mentioned the price difference, and he's like, yeah, I don't really care.
All right.
Sometimes
free
sometimes
balloon gives you an idea of what the what the margin is on the crap they sell at Party City.
Yeah.
Are we just gonna gloss over the $25 balloon?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? It ended up being multi-piece and basically was a Red Ranger that was taller than my wife. And the way it's weighted is it actually
sliding balloons.
Yeah, it actually stands. It's kind of unsettling. Yeah.
They sell those at the adult store as well.
Oh, do they? I didn't know that.
They're weighted a little differently.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, How's everybody doing?
Oh, just ducky.
Just ducky? Okay.
Just ducky. Couldn't be duckier.
Did you hear that Electronic Arts has announced a new Need for Speed called Need for Speed Payback?
So is it
Yep.
basically Burnout? Am I hearing this,
No,
or is that just me dreaming?
That's you dreaming, I would imagine. It's Need for Speed Too Fast, Too Furious.
I can't bring myself to care about Need for Speed games anymore.
Me neither. I want another
I really
Burnout.
want to.
Like, I watch the trailer, and all I want is a Burnout game, not Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll accept a Road Rash. That'll be
Road Rash should be great too, but see, we don't know that it would be great. But yeah, it's just, man,
No.
I don't know, Need for Speed. You know what?
Well,
if you
when-
want to play Need for Speed, go get a
Well,
PS2, get Hot Pursuit 2. That was the last great Need for Speed game.
That's what I was going to ask, because Forza and Forza Horizon in particular has this great reputation for, terrific reason. It's always really solid. I can't remember the last great Need for Speed. Are you sure that's the last one?
The last one I loved. I mean,
Yeah.
after that they started going into the whole. It was like
Most Wanted.
Fast and the Furious. They had Most Wanted, and then they had the one where you trick out your car and you go racing.
Hot
It's
Pursuit 2.
no, not Hot Pursuit 2. It was
No?
like all done at night. It was
Oh,
street
Most
racing.
Wanted?
No, not Most Wanted. We've already said both of those.
Ah,
Anyway,
wait, but they're all the same, though.
they were
They're all-
okay. They were okay, but then then they started to try really get into these really heavily story-based games,
Which they're doing again.
and they've just
Clearly.
been terrible. They've just been terrible. Hot Pursuit
leave
2
that-
to
leave
me
that
was
to
the
the
last
crew.
time Need for Speed was great, and it was the PlayStation 2 version. It was done by Black Box Studios. It was an amazing game. It was the last great traditional Need for Speed game.
It
Need
was
to
really
make Need for Speed great again.
Underground.
gonna
Thank you, Blair. Blair
gonna
Farrell
make-
in the chat.
We're gonna
Need for
make
Speed Underground.
Need for Speed great again.
good. Sure.
I hate
That
you.
political commentary you expect coming into Player One
Coming from-
podcast.
From Phil. Yeah.
Keep your politics out of my Need for Speed games.
Since we're on the topic of EA games we'd like to see come back, did somebody say Skitchen?
Haunting.
Did
Haunting
somebody
starring
say?
Poltergeist?
Did somebody say Haunting starring Poltergeist?
What about Desert
Yes.
Strike? We need some Desert Strike.
Yeah,
was
that
a
would
good
make
game.
sense.
What was that Sega game with the really
That-
generic title
You got to narrow it down a little bit.
that was like the
Yeah.
Strike series?
Uh,
Oh, Renegade Ops.
Renegade Ops.
Yeah.
Which is an outstanding game with a terrible name.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really, really good. So, if
Okay.
you're in the mood for some Strike, go play some Renegade Ops.
Yeah, someone needs to do a new take on Road Rash, though.
That's never happening. And the
Well,
thing
even
is,
if it's
that
not EA, it's like
if it does happen, it won't be great. Come
Wow.
on. People, the problem with that game now is it doesn't have to live up to like the old Genesis games. It has to live up to the memory of the old Genesis
Yeah,
games,
right.
which is those were great games, but people they've been built up so much now because it's been 30 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that sound of that aluminum bat, just so good.
So good.
Well,
So
if you are
good.
looking for the authentic sounds of an aluminum bat, you need to play Rusty's Real Deal Baseball.
Oh,
Yeah,
baby.
that's good too. That's good too.
You bet it is. You bet it is.
That is a
Maybe
great
not
game.
for your
I'd rather
motorcycle.
play- I'd rather
violence
play
act.
Backyard Sports Sandlot Sluggers personally, but
Oh,
that's just me.
and why is that?
I just know the development team. Good people.
Oh, okay.
Sexy designer.
Wow.
I'm not saying I disagree.
I know.
I'm not saying that. I finally died, which started the whole world living.
Should we talk about something that is unsexy that was unveiled?
Yeah, let's get angry about Nintendo.
Yeah, let's get angry. So Hori announced their Splatoon 2 chat headset, and this sort of kicked off a new era of bitching on the internet about Nintendo. Yeah. Another wave of that. People were reminded that Nintendo is not doing exactly what PSN and Xbox Live are doing, so it's time to complain. Which
No, that's That's a little reductionist.
it is. But this headset is kind of a monstrosity. It has like a separate breakout box that you have to connect one 3.5 millimeter jack into your phone and into the headset thing, and then another into the Switch so that you can get game audio and chat audio in one headset.
So dumb.
Yep, it looks awful.
It is. I mean, that's an awful experience for sure. I mean, right now with the PS4, I barely ever have chat audio and game audio going into the headset at the same time. So it doesn't really matter to me, but I definitely understand that it's not a good experience. Right?
Yep. Well, and that's the thing is I don't use chat that often. I, in fact, only use it in the very, very rare instance where I am talking with people that I know.
Mhm.
And I think literally the last time I did that was Diablo 3 when that came out on PS4. So it's not in reality going to make my play experience much different because I probably will just skip the headset. But yeah,
Right.
it's if you're the type of consumer that really does like to go on every night and talk to people, then this is definitely kind of a monstrosity.
So this is really now no different than using Skype on your
Right.
phone.
Yeah.
And then getting game audio through a headset too. It really is the same.
It's pretty darn close. I mean, it's as inconvenient. I mean, if you want to break it down, maybe it's not exactly the same, but it's definitely as inconvenient. And I mean, somebody did point out, I think it was you, CJ, who actually pointed out that this doesn't seem that much different than like a setup you would get on a PS4 where, you have, if you want game audio, like I know I've done this thing where I'm using like these headphones
Sure.
through my stereo system and then the little earpiece that came with the PS4 and put that in one ear and I have that connected to my controller. And you're right, that's not ideal either.
Right.
For sure. But it's not
and
this.
they do have headsets for PS4 and Xbox that are exactly
like
what was
this.
shown on the Splatoon headset that let you adjust the volume
But
of
the
chat
difference-
and game audio.
The difference there, though, is that generally, like your game audio on those for those is either coming from a stereo or everything's coming from either a controller you're holding, or your stereo system or whatever you're running your audio through, right?
Right.
The thing that makes this even less convenient is that you've got everything plugged one half of it into a cell phone. And then because with the Switch, it's got to be actually connected to the physical console if you're playing it handheld, and it just feels like there's all kinds of little dangly bits, and I don't know.
Well, and this
That
is
is
actually more a continuation.
Now, Greg,
Dangly
you
bits?
normally love dangly bits.
I do. I normally do,
So I don't see what you're complaining about.
but not these dangly bits.
Okay.
This is a continuation of the frustration, though, because I'm holding right now a $70 controller that does not have
Doesn't
a headphone
have a
jack.
headphone
Right.
jack.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a definite misstep on Nintendo's part. Also, not allowing Bluetooth headsets to connect to the Switch. I mean,
Right.
And I guess the PS4 also doesn't do that because for
Oh,
whatever
really?
reason,
It's funny because they had it on the PS3. So
they'll let you do it with their own proprietary thing, but you
Mm.
can't just connect any old Bluetooth headset to the PS4, unfortunately.
I'm really.
Because I'd love to use I have AirPods, Apple AirPod things
course
that
you
I'd
do.
love to use with the PS4 if it were compatible, but I can't.
Well, what I'm wearing right now is an Xbox headset that comes with this. And again, I don't do much voice chat, but what I'm saying this is a little microphone that pops down. But I use it for my PS4 and for my Xbox One, and it would be so convenient if I could just use that for the
Right.
Switch as well.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
The other thing I'm really interested to see, and this just sort of reminded me of it because I'd stopped thinking about it for a while, is whenever they do show off whatever their chat solution is for a mobile device, I really can't wait to see how it's somehow a better value or a better experience than setting up a Discord server
Right.
or a Skype channel or anything like that. Like I don't know.
I mean, I imagine this is pretty close to that experience, right?
I'm guessing it's going to be
I'm-
almost exactly the same, but I'm curious
What I'm
what's gonna
really
make it
interested
better.
in, what I'm really interested in with this app that they're talking about is how easy is it going to be to get people into a lobby to play
Right.
Splatoon or Mario Kart or whatever. When I hear app on a phone, whether you're iOS or Android, I think, okay, like let me be able to post a link to Twitter that
Right.
people can click and then automatically boot
That would
the
be
app
great.
and join me. Then that would be to me anyway a leap forward from what we have on PS4 and Xbox One in a way. Now, of course, having to use chat through your phone and all that's a step backwards. I get that, fine. But being able to easily set up rooms with people from social media would be fantastic.
That would be something that it would definitely have over Discord or Skype or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like that. That's it. That's what I'm waiting to hear about, because it's going to
And
be
if,
something like
if
that.
Nintendo is not doing that, then Sony or Microsoft, you could totally do this. You have smartphone apps right now. Sony has 3 or 4 of them. Like they could totally hook this up where you can create an event on PS4 and then share the link out to Twitter, which they don't currently do. Like they could totally do that type of thing.
Well, and
And
also I
should-
want you guys to walk back in time with me for a moment to when PS3 was coming out. And if you remember, you could only do like Bluetooth setup for chat, and so you didn't, or maybe they did eventually allow you to go in through USB, but they didn't have anything in the box that allowed you to chat, where Microsoft did. So everybody who got an Xbox had some way to talk, and subsequently you had lots of people chatting on the device. With the PS3, because of the fact that it didn't compact in, almost nobody was chatting on PS3, and it was like kind of the quiet experience, which if you love chat was a real bummer. I think we're going to also see a situation here.
Now people don't chat in online games. Like it's hard to find a game where people are talkative, especially like a public game. You can do it like if you're inviting friends or whatever you're posting in one of the PS4 communities, asking for people with microphones, then you'll get it. But otherwise, no, you really don't anymore.
Well, then to play devil's advocate, because again, I understand in principle that it's a clunky, stupid system, but I know it won't affect me that much. Is that not likely the case with arguably the majority of people using the device, that it actually won't make much of a difference?
It probably won't. I mean, everybody has these headphones that came with your phone, the ones that I'm using right now, and then whatever Android, Samsung headset you've got. Like everybody's going to have that headset, since the Switch didn't come with a headset of its own. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe people will be chatting more on Switch. Who knows?
I think you got that backwards, but
yeah, maybe. Anyway, speaking of Switch and the online service, Nintendo announced a bit of a delay for the official launch of the Switch online service. It's now coming in 2018.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Yes, but we have a few more details now. It's going to be $20 a year officially,
which is a great price.
That's a great price.
Which is a really good price. Yeah, it allows online play. You get some discounts on the eShop that are maybe going to be good. Who knows? And then you get a library of classic titles.
Very excited about this.
Online, and they have adjusted what they previously announced. They previously were going to give you 1 game a month that then would be taken away. Now it's going to be like a Netflix style library that you'll have access to on your Switch.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, and the other thing is, I was concerned as a 2 Switch household how this would work, because if it was $14.95 a month?
$40.
Right, no, exactly. But if it was like $14.95 a month, then I'd have to really wonder, like, is it going to be something only I have and my daughter doesn't? This solves that for not just me, but a lot of families who will ultimately have more than one device, because it's a no-brainer price.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic price.
If you're already paying $50 or $60 a year for Xbox Live and PS Plus, then yeah, this being half the cost, less than half the cost, it's perfect.
I mean, the Netflix style library of games that you can play. Be interested to hear more about that. As far as like, I assume they're going to be downloadable.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm sort of waiting for Nintendo to sort of Nintendo it up a little bit, but hopefully
so you're waiting
that
for
means that,
the drawback.
hopefully, yeah, like I'm waiting for it to be like, and we're launching with Mario 3 and Balloon Fight, and next month we'll release one more game to the library, and it's just like,
Mm.
you know, I see them doing that. I hope to God that's not the case. I understand
already-
the idea. I
They already
understand
showed off 3 titles, right?
Yeah,
They
well,
showed
okay.
off Mario 3,
yeah,
Balloon
that
Fight,
changes
and
my example so
Dr.
much.
Mario.
I would get the idea of them not having like the full NES library or full Super Nintendo library right at launch, because you do want to have something to keep people coming back. But I hope they don't go the route that they've gone in the previous years, which is drip feeding games nobody gives a shit about every week, right? Like, hopefully it's a robust library, because they've got, out of the 3 services now they're all doing something similar, and Nintendo easily has the best library to draw from. So
That's true. But they don't mention Super Nintendo in this.
I know that worries me too.
Well, they did say that this is not Virtual Console, that's a separate idea.
Yeah, when are we going to hear about Virtual Console? When, or is that even going to be a thing?
I feel like it's not even going to be a thing.
Now that we've got the Neo Geo Arcade Classics stuff, you got the Seiken
Right.
Densetsu thing that came out.
The
from
Namco
Square this
stuff.
past week. The Namco stuff that's coming out. Yeah, I mean, maybe Virtual Console is not going to be a thing.
Well, it was
feel
anemically
like it will
represented on 3DS and Wii U, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. It was barely a thing on the Wii U.
That's true. Well, it was also washed out and darker than everything else.
Yeah, you know
Like,
what? That
it
honestly,
wasn't good.
At the end of the day, that didn't really matter. I mean,
Yeah,
if they had hit that with like a shotgun blast of all the best Super Nintendo and NES games, people still would have cared, but it wouldn't have been as big a deal as it was. It was the fact that was happening alongside the fact that you were getting 1, maybe 2 games a week that nobody cared about. That was the problem.
well, and I wonder, given how comprehensive it was on the original Wii, it must be that like one really important guy at Nintendo that was responsible for that left the company or something.
It is really sad how it peaked on the Wii. You know, not only
they had
did they
Commodore
have
64 stuff.
That's exactly it. Not only were they doing a good job releasing their own games, but all those deals they had to release those, you know, PC Engine games and Commodore 64 and Genesis, just incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, totally. Well, maybe we'll have an all new age of things like this, the Midway Arcade Treasures pack for Xbox.
Great collections.
Yeah,
Sonic Genesis collection. I mean, maybe that'll come back.
Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the full title, the Ultimate
Yes.
The
Genesis.
Franken title. Yeah. Which,
All
by the
right.
way, I pushed back hard on Sonic being named, in the name of the game, just because, he was just,
You didn't want it to
4
sell?
of like 50. No, well, it didn't seem like it really fit. But yeah, I mean, we have what we have. So
Yeah. All righty. Should we talk about some games, video games?
I like games.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about then, Phil? You want to tell us what you've been playing?
Well, I broke down this week and picked up. I went fighting game crazy this week.
Ho ho ho!
I did. I picked up Tekken. Tekken 7 came out.
how do you
All
like
right.
it?
I think it's fantastic. I love it.
Have you
I've
played
always
any of the Tekken since 3 or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I've always enjoyed Tekken.
Yeah.
And I haven't
Tekken,
really
yeah.
gotten into a Tekken game
Good old
for a
Tekken.
while since maybe Tekken maybe 4. I've played the other Tekkens, but not to the extent as some of the past ones. But yeah, I picked this up and it's fantastic. It's a beautiful looking game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I have not played online yet because I don't need a reminder that I'm not very good at Tekken at all. I have fun playing against the computer. who will provide me a fairly decent challenge. But yeah, I'm having quite a bit of fun with it.
Okay.
So yes.
How different is it from previous Tekkens?
I don't know if you're looking for you're looking for like actual.
No, but I mean, like, is there something more to the story mode? Like, are there some fun unlockables? Like, what?
I haven't.
What's
I honestly
keeping you playing this game?
I haven't touched the story mode yet. I've just been playing the. There's a treasure hunt mode, which is just a series of fights, and after every fight, you earn a new unlockable item for the character customization.
Okay.
And then of which there's a pretty extensive library of goofy items you can deck out your characters with.
Like what?
And then
like what? What's goofy? What's goofy to
a
you?
big sushi plate strapped to their back.
Okay.
That's pretty goofy.
Or they're holding a giant fish, or other things that aren't related to fish.
Okay.
And then you get money. They have all the cinematics from every previous Tekken game.
Really?
Unlockable.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
All the end movies and stuff like that.
I'm sure
So
gold.
what's that? Oh yeah, there's and going back and watching the CG endings for the original Tekken game is pretty outstanding.
That's awesome.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Who's your main? Who do you main in Tekken?
You know who I like playing as is I've always enjoyed playing as Jack, the big
robot guy.
the big robot guy. Yes.
All right.
Now, whether he's a good character or not, I can't say, but I have fun playing as him.
Is Gon the dinosaur in this?
Gon is well, I'm afraid he's gone. I was waiting for that. He's not been a part of that series since.
I'm afraid he went away.
What was he in? Tekken 3? Was that Tekken 3 with Gon?
Probably.
I don't think he's been in the series since then. So
Oh, damn.
I'm afraid you're out of luck.
It was fun.
But yeah, I went so nuts, so excited that I get about a new Tekken game because, like I said, I've always enjoyed Tekken. Haven't really gotten in depth into one for a couple years. But so hyped up did I get for this one that I bought it digitally. First
all right.
of all,
Yeah.
yes,
Which
42.
you usually don't do.
No, I don't. But it was easier than going to the store. Although it probably would have taken less time for me to go to the store, given the 42 gig download size.
Oh God. Yeah.
But I went ahead and bought the deluxe edition with the season pass, which is promising new characters and new gameplay modes.
Okay.
Which I'm excited about because people with the PC version of the game have been data mining it, looking to see what some of the extra stuff is, and it looks like they're going to have some of the goofy extra modes, like the like Tekken bowling.
Okay.
And
that's great.
Cool.
Those were fantastic in the old game, so I'm looking forward to playing more Tekken bowling.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited. I like Tekken.
Okay.
Actually, my fondest memory of Tekken was when Tekken 3 came out. I went to Electronics Boutique, and I didn't even ask for the game. I just went up to the counter, and they started ringing me up for Tekken 3 because it had come out that day, and they just knew anyone coming into the store wanted that.
Wow, that's
a bit presumptuous. Okay.
sound like a bunch of a-holes, quite frankly. Jeez. What if I'm here for the Olsen Twins Magical Mystery Mall?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
Barbie Horse Adventure.
I mean, knowing this guy, he was probably there for the Britney Spears game.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's right. Those were the days.
That's a few years off in chronology.
He calls it BDB. I mean, come on.
Maybe you were there to pre-order.
To pre-order, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Pre-order the Britney
Just walk
Spears
into the store.
game.
Britney.
What else, Phil?
Oh well, yeah.
Something else here on your sheet.
I actually got back from. I just got back from the store. I was out and about. Finn and I went for a drive. We went out to to buy some stuff. He bought a few things. He got some money because he's graduating from preschool.
Oh,
Very nice.
So he got he got some graduation money from his grandparents. So he was out buying some new toys and things like that. And I took the opportunity. I went and bought another fighting game because I just can't get enough. This time for the Switch.
Oh,
This
Street Fighter.
time-
No, King of Fighters 99.
See, this is now I know how Ethan felt when he walked into a store and they just instantly started ringing him up without him having a chance to say anything. What an a-hole. I bought an eShop card so I could pick up King of Fighters. Ethan.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't think
I'm
that's what it
surprised.
says on the outline, though.
you presumptuous jerk.
But Ethan was right, according to that
It
outline
was.
here.
It was. I picked up Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
The final challengers.
Well, what do you think of this here?
Did you find the button mapper?
Do you find the way to remap the buttons?
Well, yeah.
Because he's not an idiot.
But
That was the first thing I did. I went into options and controller.
options controller,
And
and the first thing
I
you
could see
see
why
is
CJ
the pro and
Yeah.
easy or whatever, and then
Yeah, and then you press
that's
A
it.
and then it comes right up.
Yeah, you press A. You have to advance to another menu.
Yeah, I mean, it
yeah.
says right down, press A to
Two
it
menus?
says-
It
It's
says
not-
A is okay.
Who could live at that speed?
it's not. I mean, it's
It
not
says
hidden,
A, okay.
right? But yeah, you press
That doesn't-
OK and
That doesn't hint that there's another menu after.
press A
me.
for you say what controller you're using, and then you
Uh-huh.
hit A for OK, and then it says OK. Now you can configure it. It's not
Okay,
not
all
hidden.
right.
it's not tricky. You had trouble with this.
I did. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
I'm proud to say.
Okay.
I was able to remap the buttons like
Like a big boy.
Okay.
like this.
Well, I was able to after the show last week. I went ahead and did that.
Yeah.
CJ got called out immediately on that last week. It
I
was
did.
Well, as well
awesome.
he should. As well he should. Because
Yeah.
come on, man.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Come on. No, I picked up Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So, and
It's
you
a
got
little
it as
weird,
well.
though, that you can't play with completely classic visuals, right? Like the life
I
bar
don't- I-
head is
Oh,
the
that'd be
new
cool.
style, and
Right,
then
Mm.
it says, it doesn't say USSR.
Right. Well, there is no
Wow.
USSR.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's not the classic Street Fighter 2.
Well, it's
Thing.
not classic Street Fighter 2. It's Ultra Street Fighter 2.
That's why they call it
Fine.
Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Fine.
It's
Yeah.
not
It was
Street Fighter
classic.
2.
We call it classic Street Fighter 2.
Yeah,
Or
CJ,
probably
would you want?
just-
The classic
want
style visuals don't give you, and the classic sounds don't give you the classic sounds and the classic visuals.
Well,
is
they're
what I'm
not gonna,
saying.
they're not going to start yelling names of countries that don't exist anymore.
But those are the options in the game.
Pangea.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that.
I would accept Pangea. Yeah, sure.
You're not going to get that.
Fine.
Not really a country Pangea, but
Not last I checked.
No.
I mean, you should know this, Mr. Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
should-
like the shirt? Like
I
that?
did. Well,
Yeah. Anyway.
you have a, yeah.
What?
Boy, has this conversation run its course.
Yeah.
About 10
Ethan,
minutes
did you get
ago.
Street Fighter?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I haven't had a
it's-
chance to play
It's
it.
a Switch game.
Yeah. Oh,
Why
yeah.
are you
Silly
asking
me.
him if he got it.
Silly me. No,
Yeah.
I went. I picked it up at Best Buy so I could get it on my little gamer club discount and everything. So
I've been playing it online, and people have been pretty easy on me. I haven't felt like I've been getting my butt kicked every single time I've played, so that's been nice.
well, I doubt
Alright.
that people were being easy on you. You're probably just coming up against people who weren't very good.
Yes.
It's not like they saw your username and said, "Oh, we better be nice to this guy."
Yes.
So there you go. That's
All right,
it. That's
then.
all I've gotten.
That's it. All right, Ethan. What do you got?
Yeah, so I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn this week.
All right.
Yeah, I had been putting that off just because I'd been so excitedly distracted by the Switch, but I really like Horizon Zero Dawn. It's beautiful. Love the story they're telling, and it's exactly the type of game I like to play. It's
All right then.
yeah,
What about the
yeah.
comparisons to Zelda? What do you think about that?
So I think those comparisons are interesting. I don't. I think that it's less one looks better than the other, and more that they're different art styles. And I like the way both look. I do prefer the overall aesthetic of Zelda. What I like mechanically a lot more is the way the action works with arrows on Zelda. I do prefer being able to use the tilting to get the aim just right with arrows. Once you go back to using the analog stick, it feels more fiddly, less precise. And so I was actually looking in the options to see if there is some way to turn on the tilt support on the DualShock, but apparently not.
Yeah, I did miss that as well. And why not include something like that? It would have been perfect. I mean, the DualShock 4 does that.
Yeah, exactly. So that was missed. Also, it was, as others have commented, a bit strange to bump into invisible walls in this world. Just having the hero and say, "Oh, can't go that way." Because you are used to in Zelda being able to go literally everywhere unless you're in a shrine. But again, these are all unfair comparisons in that, Zelda is probably one of the best games ever made. And this game is very, very good. Just because it's not one of the best games ever made doesn't mean that it's not excellent in its own right.
All right.
So I'm enjoying it and look forward to spending more time with it for sure. And beyond that, really just a lot more Disgaea, which I found is just kind of comfort food. Nice to play for an hour and go to bed.
Did you play any of the ARMS Global Test Punch?
I did, yeah.
I
really enjoyed that. I played it last weekend. I played it both on physical controls and on motion controls.
Yeah,
and I liked it a lot better on physical controls, actually.
You mean the motion controls?
No. I like the motion controls less. I like to actually playing with the sticks and buttons better.
Okay.
But I really like the characters. I like the unique feeling of the world. I like that it kind of does for like Street Fighter, what Splatoon does for Call of Duty. It's just like Nintendo's own take on a popular genre, and feels familiar enough to be able to define it as a genre, but new enough to feel like something you haven't played before. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The one thing that bums me out is it doesn't seem like we're likely to have much of a story mode, and not that I'm expecting it, but what we've seen from Injustice and Mortal Kombat, we've seen that fighting games can have really cool story modes, and since we're getting it for Splatoon, it's a bit of a bummer we don't likely get it for ARMS.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a missed opportunity. Doesn't seem like we're going to get anything there, but at least in the 2 test punches that they've had, they've offered some different content.
Yeah.
Like this weekend, they added a boss character. So you could go into fights where it was 3-on-1 versus a boss, which was awesome. Basketball is another thing that they added, and then a target shoot game too.
Cool.
And they added an entirely new character, Twintel. They added her to the lineup for this weekend's test punch. So I thought that was interesting that they varied the content in that way, and that apparently it was easy enough to do that on the server side. They didn't have to push out an update to the test punch.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I wish I had a chance to play it this weekend. But yeah. Oh, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I have spent a decent little bit of time playing the Spectre Knight stuff from Shovel Knight finally, and I think I like it better than the original Shovel Knight stuff. I like the kind of Ninja Gaiden / Batman mechanics, and the way he uses his slashes. It's I think it's even better than Shovel Knight in my opinion. Has anyone else played the Spectre Knight stuff?
No,
I have not.
No, not yet.
I do
Okay.
have the treasure trove, but I've not played any
Yeah.
of that stuff.
It'll be a nice surprise. You'll enjoy it. Again, more Ninja Gaiden than DuckTales. But
Well, it won't be a surprise now because you told us.
well, okay.
I mean, let's be fair.
Ethan.
Yeah.
You've not been playing Friday the 13th.
No,
What
and
is
I
up
want
with
to. The price is right. I'm definitely interested. The only reason I haven't is that it's just hard to find time to play. A game where you're playing with other people. If I have the time, I will. But I ended up playing Horizon Zero Dawn instead. But I want to get into it before the community dies. So I'm hoping that I get a chance to play this week. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, the game is fantastic, but it has a lot of problems. It has a lot of technical issues, and matchmaking is really screwed up. Like you can't jump into quick play on the PS4 anyway. I end up waiting 10 minutes or more to find a match.
Oh, that's awful.
Quick play, which is terrible. Like that definitely shouldn't happen. But thankfully, the PS4 and the Xbox One actually have a little feature. On PS4, it's communities. On the Xbox One, it's looking for group. And you can use those to find parties to match up with in private games. So for Friday the 13th, that's basically how I've played in private matches with people who have just joined through community posts. There's a Friday the 13th community that has like 13,000 members, and they always have games open looking for people on the
nice.
PS4. So that's been a good way to get in on that. But the matchmaking is totally busted.
That's a bummer. Have you finally had a chance to play as Jason?
I did. I've played as Jason now several times, and I have gotten the hang of it. It's a very different play style than playing as the counselors because you're basically invincible. And as the match goes on, you get new special powers to use, which include being able to see which cabin counselors are in, or being able to sense where counselors are on the map and shift to them. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
And so did you, and I won't spoil anything, but did you see in IGN they showed how to kill Jason?
I did not see that, but I heard that it's a very complicated multi-step process.
Yes, and it's probably very telling that the footage they were showing, clearly whoever was playing as Jason was just standing there letting people attack him.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, it is, again, spoiling nothing, it plays very much into the movie lore, which is really cool. Though the movies themselves, I was kind of amped wanting to watch some of the movies before jumping into the game. They're totally unavailable now. You can't find them on Netflix. And I looked on Amazon at the Blu-ray collection, which is going for about $400 now.
Whoa.
Holy crap. Huh.
Wild.
Yeah, so out of print.
That's crazy. I have only
sometime
seen...
soon.
I think I've only seen like 2 of the movies.
What?
Jason
I've seen them all, but it's been a long time.
Man, I watched so many of those movies when I was a kid.
Yes.
But the game, this is probably the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game in a long time. I mean, it's just
Wow.
the asymmetrical gameplay, you would think, and a lot of people online are complaining how overpowered Jason is. And it's like, yeah, that's the game.
That's kind of the point,
Jason
right?
is supposed to be overpowered. Like, you are not supposed to be able to kill him easily. And of course, you can stun him, but he'll get right back up. And if he saw where you ran off to, he'll be right behind you immediately. So one of the things that happened to me recently was I found a boat propeller, and you can take it down to the dock, and you have to fix the propeller and then gas up the boat. So I went down to the dock, and somebody else had already added the gas to the boat. So I had the propeller. I'm like, sweet, this is going to be easy. I'm going to put the propeller on. I'm totally going to leave and escape, and I'll be safe and all this stuff. So I fix the propeller, and I hop in the boat, and somebody also comes down the dock and hops in the boat with me. And I can't figure out how to make the boat go. I don't know the controls for the boat because this is the first time that I've hopped in the boat. It doesn't like tell you what the controls are on the screen or anything. And the only thing it has is like a prompt that says press X, and if you press X, you get out of the boat. So I couldn't figure out how to go. Jason is on our tail. I accidentally press X and get out of the boat, then hop back in the boat, then get out of the boat again, and then fall in the water behind the boat. Somebody else, a different counselor, comes up, hops in the boat, and those two drive away while I get killed by Jason on the dock.
That sounds like something from the movie, though. It sounds like, the dumb counselor and screaming, no, don't go up the stairs,
Yeah. There are a lot of fun moments like that, like really narrow escapes through windows and whatnot. And the control is janky, just a little bit. Like the graphics and the gameplay are both janky, but it's like that perfect amount of jank where it's perfectly tolerable, right?
How much jank is the perfect amount of jank, CJ?
I mean, it's inexcusable, really, but it's excusable in a fun B movie, like cheesy way.
Is it kind of like Earth Defense Force?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Very
Okay.
similar to that.
That's a reasonable amount of jank.
Well, and I think
fishy.
unacceptable jank is playing The Godfather the game, and they're like replaying a classic scene from the movie where your player created character is in the background with a goofy smile on his face, like as you have like James Caan and everyone.
Wouldn't you be if you got to be in the background of a classic scene from a Godfather film?
Yes.
Would you have a goofy smile on your face?
But I mean, I think that's the problem of taking something like The Godfather that's kind of this revered series. But Friday the 13th has forever been known for its corniness, for its terrible, VFX budgets and all of that. So,
and it's
all the games.
Serious warnings against having extramarital sex, because let's be honest, anybody who had sex in those films died at horrible deaths.
Yeah,
true.
Camp counselors boning, dead.
So, and listening to last week's, I was really surprised, Greg, that you thought the most memorable kill in Jason X was the sleeping bags. That was a great kill, but come on, freezing the face and smashing.
I seriously, honestly, I don't remember anything else. I just found that so funny. And I mean, it was the context of it too, because of course it was sort of poking fun at the old 80s films where there were the two girls who were completely naked and then they jumped into the sleeping bags, and then the next thing you see is just Jason beating the hell out of one of the sleeping bags against the tree. That just
which apparently that kill is in the game.
Yeah, so I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I seriously don't remember anything else about Jason X. So
the funny thing, even more funny about the game is, as Jason, you can't really chat with anybody, except the game has like a proximity thing, right? So if you're in the area, you can hear other people. So as Jason, people don't realize that they can hear you, that you can hear them, right? Like, so as Jason, like you're coming up on a house with some counselors in it, you can hear that they're planning to escape out the back door when you try to knock in the front door. So it's kind of great, and also they really hate Jason. Like you get a lot of curse words thrown your way.
Wouldn't you?
One guy, he forgot to lock the door on me, and so I walk up to the door, and it's not locked. So I just open it instead of chopping it down. He's like, "What? this guy's cheating! This guy's cheating! This Jason's cheating!" It's like, dude, you did not lock the door. And he had placed a bear trap in front of the door, but I heard him snap the bear trap down before I even tried the door. So it was easy for me to walk around it and kill him.
He somehow thwarted the bear trap by walking around it.
By walking just out of reach of the bear trap. It's hard to get bear trap placement correct in doorways.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So does Corey Feldman voice Tommy Jarvis or not?
No. Tommy Jarvis is in the game, though. The mechanic that they have is, so once you die and you're spectating, the players who are living can find a CB radio in the camp and call Tommy Jarvis in, and then one of the dead players comes back as Tommy Jarvis.
That's so cool.
The shotgun that has one bullet. It's really great. This game is full of jank, and the reviews have not been good. But it is one of the most unique game experiences I've had in a few years, and one of the most fun times I've had playing online in a long time. So if that caveat sounds at all interesting to you, then the $39.99 is you should pay it and try the game because it's a lot of fun.
What sold me is that they actually apparently have turned into a game mechanic the whole thing where you can take Jason's mother's sweater and put it on and distract him with it. That's so cool.
Yes,
that's awesome.
The whole game is great like that. Yeah, I think you'd like it. Anyway, what else have I been playing? Oh, I downloaded Last Resort on the Switch.
The SNK shooter?
Yeah.
How is it?
That's a lot of fun. And I really appreciate that the Arcade Classic collections, the Arcade Archives, allow you to set a rapid fire button.
Yeah.
Instead of having to tap the button. That definitely helps in Last Resort, for sure. But yeah, the graphics are great. It's an old school shooter. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm basically giving myself unlimited lives because why not? I'd never played Last Resort or really any of the SNK Neo Geo shooters, so this is all new to me, and it's I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
That's great.
Yes, and I've gotten into Overwatch again because Overwatch is awesome, and I started playing ranked mode, the competitive season. And of course, I'm not very good. I'm like silver level or something like that. And but I am having fun with it. And I discovered a new character that they put out a few months ago. Orisa is one of the tanks in Overwatch, and I really like playing as her. Like it's really really fun. You can shoot a protective barrier around your team. Your ultimate gives everybody like better attack stats against your enemies. It's a lot of fun. Overwatch is just continued to be excellent in my opinion, but you guys don't like multiplayer shooters, so
well, again, I can tell you honestly, I would play it again if I could pay $20 to blow up the loot crate so that it just doesn't appear in the game anymore.
Well, you don't even have to use loot crates.
Don't even open them.
Just don't.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
Fine.
like, I would like to I would pay money to just have it removed from the game.
You can't do that, unfortunately.
I know.
It is still a fun game, and I appreciate the fact that the loot crates are really only cosmetic stuff and doesn't actually impact gameplay whatsoever, because that keeps me on a somewhat level playing field with other people. Otherwise, I would not be playing this game.
So you would instead of just not utilizing the completely optional aspect of this game, you would pay $20 to remove the completely optional aspect of the game.
Yes, especially if it came with some type of fancy fireworks where it just explodes. And
so instead of paying no money, you would be happy to pay money.
Yes,
to pay no money.
It is the aspect of the game that the most people complain about on the internet. Like if you go into any Overwatch thread, everybody's complaining about loot boxes.
No,
not the game itself.
That you don't have to use, though.
Yeah, I know.
Phil, I bet you
no extra stuff.
I bet you anything that if they gave the option for $20, which is a high price, to just blow that thing up, I bet you'd be shocked how popular that would be. That one-time purchase, it would be such a satisfying thing for the people who don't like it.
I don't think there's anybody who doesn't like the loot crates.
Yeah, I think the problem people have with the loot crates, Ethan, is not your problem that they exist. The problem is they are
good out of them.
They're not getting the rare items.
They're not getting the good stuff out of them.
Yeah. The problem is they're spending tons of money on the loot crates and not getting the items they want.
Or in many cases, they're not even spending money on them, but playing a lot of Overwatch and gaining loot boxes and getting any good stuff.
Yeah. I think you would be surprised at how few people would take advantage of the pay $20 so you don't have to click on this thing anymore.
Well, Ethan, Friday the 13th does not have microtransactions, but it does. You do roll perks in the game that you can then attach to counselors and to Jason, so you can like level up different aspects of your character.
Yeah, but that's not pay per pull.
But
no,
it's
it
still
is not.
gambling.
But you are using a gotcha system to get a
Gambling mechanic.
Right. No. But RNG that's not pay per pull, I'm much more comfortable with.
Okay. Anyway, Greg, what do you got for us?
I've not been playing anything new this week. I'm trying to finish up my second season of F1 2016, win the championship and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so nothing new this week, but I did get to do something today, which is kind of cool. This weekend was actually this past weekend when you're listening to this now was the IWK Children's Health Center, the hospital here that I support through Extra Life, was their annual telethon, which I should check what the last number was, how much they earned. But anyway, the cool thing about doing Extra Life and being the president of the Halifax Guild here is I actually am one of the very lucky people who gets to go on that telethon and flip the check for how much money was raised through Extra Life last year. So I got to do that today. And the final number was in Canadian dollars. The final number that Extra Life raised last year for the WK was over $60,700, which was absolutely incredible. So yeah, I just got to go on TV and do that today. And actually that telethon, they raised over $6 million today, almost $6.5 million for the hospital.
Nice.
So yeah, and I'm using that as a springboard, of course, to remind people that Extra Life 2017 is underway. I've raised about $300 so far. Now that my kids' weekend schedules are starting to calm down, probably in July, I'll be starting to do 1 or 2 Extra Life specific streams every month, trying to raise $10,000 this year. And just wanted to say that, if everyone who's listening to this right now was to donate $1, I would destroy my goal this year. So, think about it. It is tax deductible. Extralife.org.
You should set your goal higher than like $30.
That's true.
If you're talking about people listening to this show.
Extralife.org/participant/Seward. The 2017 campaign is underway, and I would love to raise over $10,000 this year. So please help me. Like I said, $1. It's just $1. Anybody listen to this right now, if they donated $1, I would kill my goal right then and there. So please give if you can.
All right.
Yay.
So you didn't play any other games? You didn't
No, I'm trying to I've sort of backed off playing a bunch of different games, trying to just complete some stuff and get it off my backlog. So right now I'm finishing up F1, which will probably be done just in time for the new one to come out. And then I'll move on to something else.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I think that means that we should do some tweets.
Tweet.
All right. Hacker alias Zero Kaiser says, do you think we will get a release date for Dreams for PS4, and will it have VR support? I assume he means at E3.
Nope.
Remember
I think that's dead.
Media Molecule game. You think Dreams is dead?
I do. We haven't heard anything about it. It didn't really look like much of a game. It was that weird looking create your own environment with characters thing. Very surreal, almost Dali-esque. Yeah.
I know my Dreams died a long time ago. So.
No recollection of it at all.
No recollections of having dreams? Or you mean the game Dreams? Anyway.
Okay.
Alrighty then. I mean, if we don't hear about it at E3, it's got to be dead, right? Maybe.
Indie aka Rex in the chat is saying that it was at the last PSX and it has PSVR support.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Well, then I'm wrong.
That's a switch.
And I probably, I probably would use it as much as I have used the tilt brush, which is a similarly wow, this is amazing, and I'm going to play it for 2 hours and never play it again.
But really, I do hope
tilt brush isn't a game, is it? It's right. It's more of an application. This feels more like an application too. Yeah.
I do hope we get some big PSVR announcement, right?
Me too.
I hope so too.
Yeah, that would be good. All right. Hacker Alias Beard the Movie says, what are your favorite games based on movies? Which movies need to have a game adaptation?
Tim Burton's Batman had some fantastic games based on it.
That had nothing to do
That's
with
true.
Doesn't
the
matter.
movie.
Still based.
They were great.
No, the Genesis game was clearly based on the movie. The levels were taken right out of the film. The Sunsoft, they were all Sunsoft. The NES game, had nothing to do with the movie, but it was attached to the movie, and it was an incredible game. So,
yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, the Spider-Man 2 game was great.
Yep. I'll tell you this much: having just walked out of the Wonder Woman movie, I would love for Rocksteady to do something with her.
Yeah. And we're getting a Spider-Man game from Insomniac pretty soon here, right?
not based on the movie, though, right?
Not, I don't know.
No.
Is it? No,
I don't think so.
But the Spider-Man
it's
games,
like
the
art and stuff.
No.
I'm gonna say Friday the 13th because that's
Oh,
a
of
great game based
Yeah,
on the
that's
movie. Telling you.
I remember Rocky on the Xbox.
Yeah, that
remember
was
that?
pretty fun.
I just thought that was
Really?
kind of cool.
Never played it.
Akira
Playing-
Pinball.
Yeah, Akira Psycho Ball, you mean?
Psycho Ball, yeah.
Gross Psycho Ball, yeah.
All right.
I noticed no one said GoldenEye.
The Italian Job.
Well, we already talked about GoldenEye before, but GoldenEye
We
is
were saying
the
good
one.
game.
Are we all in agreement here that GoldenEye for N64 is not a good game?
Nope, we're definitely not in agreement on that.
The sane people are in agreement.
Nope.
There
You
are
have to
people
be
who-
crazy to say that it's not good. I mean, it was a good
No, you
campaign,
don't.
and
You do not have
And
to
it
be
was-
crazy to say it's not good. It was not a very good game.
oh my god, no.
Not a
I
very
mean, it because the genre
multiplayer was possible.
okay,
That's it.
but all right, because the genre is so popular now, and we have so many great entries in FPS, it doesn't age well. That I'll say. But I mean, for what it was at the time, I remember waking up my best friend at like 12:30 a.m. when I came home from work and popped it in, saying, "You got to come over." I was blown away by it. I thought it was amazing at the time.
I think people wanted to play as Bond, and first-person shooters were not a thing on console. So the fact that you got a passable first-person shooter that used the Bond license, people liked it for that.
I'm curious though, what year did GoldenEye come out?
Mid-90s, right? 97?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I'm curious
Yeah.
if were first-person shooters not a thing on console up at that point? I mean, because there were a fair
Well, they
amount of
were a
first-person
thing.
shooters on PlayStation and Saturn.
But they didn't have like console exclusive first-person shooters. There were like, Doom and Hexen 64.
Well, yeah, but I think
You-
I always thought GoldenEye the big thing was that it had multiplayer. It had deathmatch on a console.
screen.
That
Yeah.
wasn't very common. That's the thing that I feel like when people talk about their fond memories of GoldenEye, that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about that it was an amazing game with like incredible control in it. That they were talking about being able to play multiplayer, sitting in their dorm room playing 4-player deathmatch.
To be fair, Turok was out. Yeah, I was thinking that, and I just saw that post on our
Turok.
I mean, I'm thinking of things like of the Saturn, like Quake, and Power Slave, and Duke Nukem 3D, and there were a lot of there were a lot of first-person shooters on PlayStation as well. I mean, I don't think it was that rare of a thing at the time, and for me, in all honesty, because of games like that, because of contemporary first-person shooters on other consoles, I didn't think GoldenEye was very good. It didn't play very well. It didn't look.
I'm surprised to hear you
Right.
say that. I would be less surprised if you said because you're playing them on PC, because obviously PC that was great for first-person shooters at that time. But I
Sure.
was not a PC
I mean,
player.
I played Doom on PC.
Yeah, but I guess I just felt like this was I had Duke Nukem on Saturn and stuff like that, and I just felt like GoldenEye was a huge jump past that, because it felt to me like this was the first one that was like really being built for console, whereas the other stuff you're talking about, generally they were kind of piss poor ports of PC games.
I would totally disagree with that as well. If you're going to say Duke Nukem on the Saturn and say piss poor port of a PC game, I think you're absolutely wrong.
All right,
Absolutely wrong. If anything, that was one of the things that made that so great. It was such an incredible port of that PC game.
Yeah, Duke Nukem on Saturn was really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you,
anything Lobotomy did, I feel was fantastic. But
yeah, I didn't like it as much as GoldenEye, not nearly as much. And
like I
did
say, I
them
mean,
both.
it didn't have 4-player deathmatch. Totally agree. GoldenEye had that, and that is what GoldenEye had. That's what GoldenEye did that everybody loved.
That's what people remember.
Yeah, that's what people
Most.
remember about it. But if you're talking about it from a perspective like, 'cause I didn't play it that way because I just didn't have anybody around me that was interested in playing it. Playing it as a single player first-person shooter, it was not that good.
Yeah, and I gotta say, you're right. Like, the fondest memories I have are the many, many nights of having, a bunch of people over to play, and we do license to kill, so it was one-shot kills, and it was really stressful and fun.
See, I like, for me, that game is Mario Kart 64. I would say that if you want to put the single-player experience of Mario Kart 64, all of them up against each other, or the Mario Karts all up against each other, I don't think 64 ranks that high. But multiplayer, man, Mario Kart 64 was the Mario Kart. Like, I played so much 4-player Mario Kart 64, and it made it one of my favorite games ever. It's not because it's the best looking game. It's not because it's the best playing Mario Kart. It's because my memory is every Sunday having tournaments on Mario Kart 64.
Yeah. Makes a huge difference, yeah. Because again, my memories of Mario Kart was I was too poor to afford it. I was working at a video store, so I'd come in early sometimes to actually, turn on the rental N64 we had and play it that way. And it was always single player, and it looked good, and it was, again, that controlled really well. But I remembered it principally as a single player thing.
Right.
So it's not as
totally
fun
different
to me as it is
experience.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's do this one from hacker alias RBF guy 229, who says, do you think digital game downloads will substantially affect the availability of 3DS and Vita games once they're old enough to be?
Wait. Once they're old enough to be what? Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't say. That's where it ends.
Yes.
Well, I think that it's a very legitimate concern that if you're focusing only on digital releases, and they're actually the literal majority of titles on Vita are digital at this point.
Well, what I think he's saying is, okay, at a certain point, the digital stores are going to be taken offline, right?
Yeah, right.
So then you're going to have to buy physical, and maybe they didn't make as many physical cartridges or Vita games as they would have because digital downloads exist. So is that going to be a problem in the future?
Well, I think, it's a supply demand thing. If you have a game that people really want, that's impossible to get other than, a physical copy, and there's only, 20,000 that were made or something like that. Yeah, I think obviously that's going to be a challenge. I will say another thing that's tough is even if you do buy these, I have been going through the tedious process of downloading and storing on my PC every single update for these games.
That's going to be the worst part about collecting anything that's been coming out in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got physical versions, they all need to be patched.
Yeah, you think of World of Final Fantasy, and that thing, if you don't have the patch, you don't get English VO.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, are you backing up those those updates?
Yep, I have every digital game updated and backed up on my PC now.
Just on your PC?
Well, right now, yes.
What about to the cloud?
I guess I could do a second backup, but I'm feeling comfortable.
That hard drive dies.
Right.
That hard drive will die.
The concern. Yeah. At some point.
Yep. For now, it's doing what I needed to do. But remember, again, 190 of my games are physical right now, so I will have more.
A lot of.
It's so funny.
Games.
I was like resorting my my game shelf the other day just because it had sort of been picked over and everything was out of order and everything. My physical Vita collection is 3 games.
Mine's 1. Only
mine's 1 as well.
Yep.
Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, that's if there's one to have, that's the one.
I would seriously, if I didn't know that you actually had that many, if someone said there were 150 physical releases on Vita, I probably wouldn't believe them.
There is, yeah.
But yeah.
Last one I bought last week.
Do you think at E3 the word Vita is going to be mentioned at all in the Sony press conference? Are we going to hear the word Vita?
Of course not. Don't be silly.
I mean,
No,
we heard the
there's-
word Vita PS Experience this past December. They mentioned Vita then.
It ain't December
They-
no more, is it?
The only thing I could see potentially is if Sony was deciding to, as Game Informer has suggested, they might do something that's like a Switch-like product. I don't think it's going to happen, but
I don't see
that's
how
the
they do
only
that.
context.
I don't see
I
how
don't,
they do
I don't
that.
see it either from a technical standpoint. But I will say what would be interesting is if Microsoft, for instance, said, you know what, we're releasing a tablet too, and this is our new Xbox 360, something like that. That wouldn't be impossible to me, given the technology in terms of portability and file size.
You think
And-
Microsoft would do? You think they would?
I could see
At
that
E-
as a
at
viable
E3?
and attractive product.
I think you might be right, but I don't think they would do that this year with the Scorpio looming, right around the corner.
Yeah,
They're not going to want to divert attention away from that towards a portable, even if that's a good idea.
yeah, and I still can't get excited about the Scorpio. I mean, obviously, we're not at E3.
You're
Maybe
not-
it'll
you're not
be
the
an
customer.
awesome.
You're not a customer. You're not what they're looking for.
Well, I think a lot of podcasts, I think Glixel actually did a show on this, and the VentureBeat, the GamesBeat podcast also, about like what Microsoft needs to do at E3, and there's just a lot of uncertainty about what they're going to do and what they're going to show, and whether or not it's going to be enough. Because
Yeah,
when it comes to like games people are mentioning, it's like we already know there's not going to be a Halo. There might be a Halo something at E3, but not Halo 6.
does anyone
And-
care about Halo anymore, though? I mean, on the level that they used to, where it was a system seller.
Not on the. I don't think at the
Well,
level they used to.
No.
Not on the
But I
level
still
they
think-
used to, maybe.
I still think you'd see a bump for a good Halo game. Sure.
We're going to have Forza, Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, but all of those also are going to be playable on Xbox One because they painted themselves into that corner by saying that there wouldn't be any Scorpio exclusive games. So
and PC. And
PC as well, yeah. So yeah, I really just don't know what to make of what they're gonna do. Like, well, I guess we'll find out in a little over a week. But
Well, and I would love to know at this point, because Greg, you're saying I'm not the target. That's fair. It's weird to me that I'm not because I used to be, but I'm not. You're right. But how many people have 4K TVs? I know like maybe 2 or 3 people, and obviously that's just a,
I'm gonna throw something out here though. Like back in the day when we were working at the magazine and had disposable income to purchase gaming stuff. If we were ourselves back then now,
Yes.
we would totally be in on that,
No,
right? Like, we would
absolutely.
totally have 4K TVs, and we would totally be ready for PS4 Pro and Scorpio. We would be down with it. And now
think-
you're right, we're not. But
I think that's the difference. I honestly think what you just said there, Ethan, because I'm the same way. I agree with you. There was a time when I was that customer,
yeah,
for sure. But the difference is now we're all 15 years older. We all have families. Our money needs to go elsewhere. It's not
hard to
it's
see
not easy to drop
spending that
drop
money on a 4K television.
But I will argue also that we were not dealing back then with these iterative console releases, and I don't know even back then if they did a PS2 Pro, if I would necessarily have been motivated to buy a new PS.
I feel the circles we ran in, a lot of people ended up with a PS2 Slim. A lot of people ended up with one of those
I
little
did.
PS1s. A lot of people grabbed that
I did.
Dreamcast when it was when it had the Sega Smash collection, whatever the hell it was called.
I did. Yeah,
A lot of
I
people
did
grabbed that Pokemon N64. I mean,
only when it was cheap. Only
but
when
still,
it was.
you still went out and bought it. Right?
You're right.
And none of us got the PS4 Pro. Is that right?
That's right.
No.
Okay. Which, incidentally, again, playing Horizon Zero Dawn, it is so beautiful that I have no doubt it looks even more beautiful in 4K. But I mean, I am just so happy with how it looks now that I wouldn't be motivated to spend more. But again, the Scorpio also, I bet you anything, none of us pick it up.
But going back to what you said about 4K TV sales, I can't find any. I mean, all I can find right now is a a report that says that by the end of 2017, they're figuring 1 in every 8 homes will have a 4K TV in the U.S. based on the sales projections from the middle of 2016, from actually a year ago this month. But the thing for me is that I feel like it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen at this point. The Ultra HD and everything, when you go into like something like a Costco, they don't cost a lot more than a regular television.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But
you're going to have it happen just sort of over the natural course of time, where people aren't going out and saying, "Oh my God, I need a 4K TV." There are those customers, but I think that it's just going to be a lot of people are like, "Got to buy a new
I need a
TV."
TV.
It's going to
Yeah,
be,
and that's what's available.
It's going to
Let
be
me-
4K.
Yeah, as the 4K standard evens out a little bit
Yeah.
too, because I don't know if you remember when the Xbox One S first came out, and there were all those pictures of people's TVs with the setup screen where the TV wasn't able to do HDR and wasn't able to do 4K gaming. I mean, once all that stuff comes down in price, which I think is already happening, yeah, a lot of people will just have those TVs because they bought a new TV. Very similar to how a lot of people bought TVs when 3D TV was around, and maybe they didn't use the 3D function, but they got a TV
After a while, you stop paying a premium for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, but I'll say also that the jump is so much different. It's like, jumping from standard definition television to HD TV, like not seeing lines of resolution anymore, that was a big deal. This is a much less substantial jump. And I just bought a new TV, in fact, spent $300 to get a new Samsung for my bedroom. I got it 1080p. It just did not seem worth it to me to spend the extra $150.
Yeah, but that's just, it was also a second television.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, if both your televisions crapped out tomorrow and you were going to go buy a new primary television for your home, you're not going to have to pay a premium to get a 4K TV at this point.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
But getting one. Not because I'm that interested in it, but just because that's best TV I can get for the money.
But when you're not talking about like CRT tubes anymore, like I can't imagine my TV crapping out anytime soon. I mean, maybe, but I think it's going to be I think it's going to be around for at least another 7-8 years. I mean, I expect that.
7 or 8 years.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't had
Why
a
not?
TV for 7 or 8 years. I don't think.
I've had mine for close to 10 years now, happily.
Either way, the point is that I see what you're saying, but it's going to happen.
The other thing talking about, I don't see any of us buying the Xbox Scorpio. I think you're right with the information that we have right now. I think you're right. That could change in a week and a half, right? Because it depends a lot on what titles are going to be available and what whether Microsoft is able to communicate the benefits of a Scorpio for people like us who don't have 4K televisions. It really starts to rely on that, right? So if they are able to do that, then that might change. Our stance might change in a week and a half, and we might suddenly be interested. I don't know if that'll happen, but it could.
Yeah.
Right?
And
maybe.
Kevin Larrabee is screaming in our in our chat about how it's more about better visuals and performance. And yes, I agree with that. But then I'm actually on the same side as Ethan in that conversation, which is, yeah, but it's not enough for me to want to go out and spend another $500 on a console when I already have a perfectly good Xbox One sitting here and it plays the games. Because I think Ethan, you're right. The jump's not there. The jump is not there for me to go out and spend that money on a new console right now. It's just not.
You know what would get me to buy an Xbox Scorpio is fix the dashboard.
Oh God, the dashboard is
usable.
Just worse.
Or even like the store. It is so hard to browse the game store on the Xbox One. Like it lags and it's just not a very great experience. And if they were able to demonstrate that on the Scorpio, they got rid of some of that lag and that problem, I might be interested.
And I mean, they're in the chat. They're talking about how it's it is $500 more. You can sell the current one. Yeah, that's true.
But where? I mean, I don't know
care.
how or where to sell it. It's a gigantic thing. Would I have to go on Craigslist to do that?
Well,
if it was as easy as going to Best Buy and trading in, which itself would be a pain in the ass because I'd have to get it into the car. I mean, that's the thing is it's not a tiny thing.
Jesus Christ, really? What kind of
It's
car are
not
you
that
driving?
big, dude. The Xbox One isn't that huge.
No. I'm saying the TV.
Oh,
So we were talking
That
about
wasn't what we were talking
the new
about.
the Serpico.
actually, that brings up a good point. Like, what are the trade-in values going to be? Do you think GameStop would have like a good deal?
I think,
on
like, for
trading
me,
units?
honestly, as far as the Pro and the Scorpio go, and this is why I'm interested to see what they do next, because the fact that they decided that they were going to do iterative consoles, for me, it always seemed like you'd have the certain really super hardcore group that would always buy the new iteration.
Mhm.
But then somebody like me with my phone, like I kind of looked at it the same way that that I think you would look at smartphones right now, where you've got CJ,
Yeah,
who, when a new iPhone's announced, CJ buys it.
immediately
That's
buys it now.
the kind of consumer he is. For me,
True.
I can go 2 or 3 versions before I update my phone.
Yeah,
And I kind of looked at them doing iterative consoles the same way. So what I think is going to be interesting is the next step, which is it the next iteration of the PS4 or the Xbox One, or is it a completely new console and throw everything out? Because if they have the guts to keep doing the iterative thing, I would probably consider upgrading at that point. But I'm not upgrading at every iteration.
Well,
But I
and
also
you
feel like I'm going to be upgrading because it's going to be a completely new console.
But Greg, you get to a point of massively diminishing returns, which is like the iPhone 8 is going to be announced next week. This will be the
Next
first
week?
time. Yeah, apparently that's or maybe pardon me, week after. But anyway, it's supposedly announced pretty soon, and I don't care what it is. This will be the first time since the iPhone launch that I'm not going to get a new one after 2 years of having the last one. And it's not because the technology isn't great. It is, but that's the problem. Is I have an iPhone 6S. All I use my phone now for is like Discord and Twitter and Reddit and texting and Kindle, and I have no need for a new phone. I think it's a similar thing with the consoles, where it's like it's just it's not going to do significantly better a job than what I have now.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about the Pro, at least. I don't know about the Scorpio, but the Pro is kind of the same thing for me. Yes, I know it runs things better. It's not an issue for me. I feel like my PS4 runs things good enough. You know, like I don't feel like I'm missing anything right now.
Yeah.
And maybe I am. And somebody mentioned, I think Kevin and Indy both in our chat are saying, like, it's a problem of kind of along the lines of the Wii and the Wii U, where the message is not clear enough. Yeah, absolutely. It's not, because I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah.
So
Same.
Well, and I'll say it's also what you need from it. So I can totally see if you really are the type of person who will complain that the Xbox One is doing 900p, whereas PS4 is doing 1080p, then the Scorpio is just a dream come true. And you're going to be willing to spend that. For me, I would spend easily $600 if Microsoft said we're repackaging the Xbox One as
don't turn this into a Switch conversation.
device. No, I'm just saying that's what I would buy that. I would buy them, but I wouldn't buy a Scorpio, which is more powerful.
All right.
Okay.
Let's wrap up with this last tweet from hacker alias Maximum Clark, who says, "What is the worst game that you are ashamed to love playing?"
Night Trap.
You're ashamed.
Actually, probably Sewer Shark. But anyway, those full motion video games. I love those old full motion video games. Just love them.
They're good.
They're terrible. And I will never argue otherwise. But
Little Nicky on the Game Boy Color, which is
Yikes.
way better than it deserves to be. It's actually a good action platform game with a lot of humor, but it is tied to a terrible movie. So I enjoyed it and enjoyed it a lot and gave it a very good score, and was forever criticized for that. But I think the criticism came less from whether or not the game was good and more from the fact that it's based on a terrible Adam Sandler movie. So how could it be good?
that was one of those moments where speaking as the reviews editor, working at Electronic Gaming Monthly, I get the email with Ethan's reviews, and I read it, and it's just like, I gotta talk to Ethan again.
Did you play it?
Didn't have to.
Right. Of course not.
Did your score stand?
Yes, it did.
There you go. So
Yeah.
clearly you made your case
Yep.
Yep.
that
There
time.
it is.
I've got a couple of these. I got Blinks, the Time Sweeper. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that game.
Voodoo Vince?
No, not Voodoo Vince. And Too Human.
Oh, yes.
I remember,
Too
you
Human.
really enjoyed Too Human.
That was such a terrible game, but it was so fun.
Right.
So much fun.
Would Friday the 13th make that list now, CJ?
I'm not ashamed to love playing Friday the 13th. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Kid Nicky, Radical Ninja for me.
Kid Nicky.
Mm.
Kid Nicky. It's not a very good game, but
You
I love it.
No, it is.
Is Kid Nicky better than Little Nicky?
Well, it has to be. It's not based on a terrible Adam Sandler movie.
I love that. I love that Little Nicky is old enough that we feel the need to append "terrible" to Adam Sandler movie to make a point.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Is that where we should end it?
Show enough.
Sure.
Alrighty. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter. You got one of them Discords? You like Discord? We got one of them Discords. You can come on and chat with us. The link to that will be in our show notes and on our Twitter profile as well. So come on over and chat about video games with us and our other listeners right there. Also, you can go to player1podcast.com. There you'll get the show notes for this episode of the show with relevant links to the things that we talked about. And you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, and Generation 16 episodes.
Yeah, I made more progress on the latest episode last week, so it's coming along.
Nice.
Starting to feel good about it.
Nice. You'll find information about Scoopfest 17, which we're gonna get those guys on the show here pretty soon. I think maybe next week.
Oh,
Did you
yeah?
say that
Try to
last
do
week?
something with them. What's
Cool.
that?
Didn't
I
you
said
say
that
that last week?
I said that last week, but this time it's gonna be real. It's real.
Yes.
So we'll be talking to Matt and Mattingly on
Nice.
this show. It'll be fun. And on our website, you'll find a message board if that's the type of thing you like to do, where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store while you're at the iTunes Music Store.
Cheap.
Pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. It gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream direct to listen device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can Discord us.
Discord.
And all those good things.
Mhm.
Now I've lost my train of thought because I threw Discord in there.
Yeah.
You
Dang it.
did.
Voicemail. You forgot
Dang it.
voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
On
And
the
make
voicemail.
sure to call our voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mhm.
Oh, Gregory.
Nobody
That's a
calls us
lie.
Gregory.
That's a lie.
We don't have one of
Eh.
those.
No, we don't anymore.
No.
You can check out archives of our show and listen to us live most weeks at the youtubes.com/P1 podcast /P1 podcast. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you could head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It keeps CJ in loot crates in Overwatch.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
gonna get that alt skin for Tracer, whether he likes it or not.
I actually don't care about that stuff at all, really. But yeah,
You just keep telling yourself that.
I will.
And if you have a couple bucks left over, you can head over to generation-16.com where you'll find a Patreon link to help support Greg Seward's fantastic web series about North America's favorite second banana, the Sega Genesis.
Sega.
Did you ever play much Tekken on your Sega?
No, but I'm sure there's some kind of ROM hack for that.
Oh, I can guarantee you there is, yes. Okay, CJ,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you so much, Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil. And one more thing, just wanted to call out. I am streaming every Tuesday and Thursday night on my Twitch channel now, 9:30 Eastern, twitch.tv/Seward. Come hang out, play, and watch me play games, or hey, sometimes even play multiplayer games with me. But come hang out.
All right.
Yep.
And Ethan,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Well, thank you as well, Phil.
Well, all right then.
You know who else we should thank?
Who?
Arms Guy.
Oh, yeah. What about that? What about that, Arms Guy?
Where's Arms Guy?
I don't know. Where is he?
Come on, monkey, dance.
Who am I, Phil?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. I don't even know how that went. How did that go? I'm
Move your-
Arms Guy. I'm flailing around with my arms. Like that.
That was perfect. That was
Okay.
perfect.
Yep.
That's leaving on a high note right there.
Yeah.
Next week,
Let's do it.
Next week.
there's going to be press conferences next week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Nothing like that. We'll have
Yeah,
to,
good
we'll
thing
have
we're
to
recording after the first one.
record around it or something.
There you go.
I don't know how we're going to do it. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Later, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.